Welcome back to the SSL Family Dad channel. Today I'm here with
Cameron
and
Summer,
and we are going to talk about my #1 tool that I just cannot live without. All right, so today I wanted to share with you guys a tool that I have just absolutely come to rely on every single day. If I don't have it with me, my life is just a mess out here. It's something that I just have to have. This will start a series that I will be doing every week. We will be revealing and talking about a tool that is vital to the operation out here and homesteading or farming. So if you're looking to start a homestead or move out onto property or something like that, what are some of the tools that you will need? What are some of the things you should buy first? And we're gonna go through a whole bunch of tools that I think are important and that I have found useful out here. There'll be a few sponsored tools that companies have sent me that we'll check out and that I haven't used very much, but we'll see kind of what they're all about. And then there'll be some new tools that I have bought recently that I wanna share with you guys and why I bought them. And then there'll be some tools that I've just had for a long time out here and that I have just found to be absolutely vital for farming or homesteading. The tool that we are going to talk about today is, of course, a multi-tool, and very specifically this Leatherman. I have had this tool since I was in Iraq, actually. I think this was the one I got issued to me. I can't remember if I got issued a Gerber or a Leatherman. I've had both brands and like both of them. So let's take a closer look at this Leatherman multi-tool. I'm going to share with you guys what I like, what I don't like, and what you guys should look for in a multi-tool. So one of the things that this Leatherman I don't believe actually came with a sheath for it, a case for it, but I actually think this was the one I got with my Gerber. But this is important. So if you're looking to get one of these, get one that has the belt case on it, the leather case or synthetic case, because if you don't have that, you're not going to carry it around with you all the time. I actually never wore a belt in my life until I got this tool, and then I just started wearing a belt all the time, literally just so I could carry this thing around with me. So this is a Leatherman Wave. It's an older model. Like I said, I've had this for, I don't know, maybe 12, 14 years. And it has been a killer tool. It has just been an amazing tool. It doesn't have all the features that I like, though. There's a few things I wish it had, but it still has been extremely useful. This is a Leatherman multi-tool. It has, just to start with, the needleless pliers that pretty much all of them have. Some of the Gerbers, you'll see the stub nose or the wider tipped ends on them. I actually don't like those. You want to get one that has the needle nose. This is going to be much more useful, especially when you're dealing with electrical wires and other things like that, small things. You really want to have that the needle nose pliers. It also has the wider grip in the middle that I use on nuts and bolts and things like that all the time. And probably one of the most used tool is these cutters. Now there's two different cutters in here. There's a I guess you'd call this a braided wire cutter, which is the flat cutters here. And then there's the tiny little notch at the back end of this that's for your thicker gauge wire. So this is just some fencing wire here, but this will easily cut this gauge wire, just right in that front gap in that cutter. Easily cuts that stuff. And this isn't that thick a gauge, but this will easily cut metal coat hangers. You know, I cut 10 gauge wire with this all the time, solid core wire. Fencing. This cutter I've used more than my fencing tool when I'm out doing fencing and other things like that. That cutter is important. So one of the things that I wish that this had was replaceable teeth. All the new Leathermans and the Gerbers that I've seen online, and I'm going to link to this one as well as a couple other Leathermans on Amazon. The new ones have replaceable teeth, and it's really nice because you can, I think there's like a little Allen screw or something you take out, and then you can put new teeth on these. Now I can sharpen these, but eventually these will get worn out. You cut a lot of wire with them and stuff like that. This one has the toughest that I've ever had. The Gerber, actually, from cutting wire, had a bunch of dents and nicks in it. These cutters have lasted a long time, and they're still super sharp. So just this part of this tool alone is worth it. So going through a couple of the knives this has a serrated knife, which is actually the one I use the most often because I haven't sharpened the other knife. But most often I use this for cutting twine on bales of hay. And this serrated knife works really good on this twine. When I'm out baling hay, I use this thing just constantly, dealing with broken bales and fixing bales that didn't knot properly and cutting twine and all kinds of stuff. So this serrated knife is actually my favorite knife. It also has on the other side a regular, and these knives are all have a safety on them, so you have to push this down to fold it back in so they lock out. This knife, although super dirty, so I do use it quite often, is very dull, and I just need to put a new edge on this. I just haven't done it. But this was a very sharp, and this is all stainless steel, so this thing lasts a long time. And this blade has been really tough. So it actually, from what I use it for, it still has a decent edge on it. But it definitely could use to be sharpened. But we also have some things that I don't use quite as often. This has a file. This is a file that has a fine edge on it, and it has a coarse edge on it. This can be used for sharpening chisels, for sharpening other tools and blades. I actually use this most often when I'm baling hay to just give a fresh edge to the twine cutters in that hay baler. So, but I do use this now and then to sharpen a chisel or just put a fresh edge on something that we need to sharpen. So on the other side, we have an actual saw. I forget that this is on here quite often, and I use that serrated knife to cut wood, but this is very sharp actually, because it doesn't get used very often. But this is great for cutting dowels and cutting sticks, and it'll cut through pretty decent pieces of wood. Actually gives a pretty clean cut for a little handsaw. So, but there's a couple more things in here that I just absolutely cannot live without. Of course, it has all the common things like all your little screwdrivers. I like this because it has these real nice small flatheads. These are great for little set screws, and for instance, on my wood boiler, the temperature adjustment is a real fine screw, and I use this all the time for that whenever I'm out, if I want to adjust the temperature on that. But with all those aside, one of the handiest little things on this tool is these scissors. They're a spring-loaded scissor. They're actually very sharp, and I just use these things all the time. It'll cut paper, it'll cut envelopes, it'll cut, cut things out when we're working with the kids or something like that. It cuts string, it cuts whatever you need. And I'm surprised that the edge on this has remained so sharp over the years. I've never sharpened these scissors, and they still just work great. So what an amazing, don't get a Leatherman without these little scissors. They're I just can't tell you enough how often I use those. This one has, of course, your bottle opener and can opener. It's a multi opener, and I do use that from time to time. We don't open too many bottles around here or anything, but that does come in handy when you need to open a can or something, especially with camping, I guess. The other thing that's on here, this has a wider flathead screwdriver, but of course, one of the most common things I use. In fact, I use this Phillips screwdriver more often than I use any other screwdriver, probably. This is a really nice hard tipped Phillips, and so you know how those cheap Phillips screwdrivers, you always wear out the tips on them. This is a hardened steel, and it seems to work really good. I do a lot of computer repair, and this Phillips screwdriver is perfect for all those computer case screws and motherboard screws and hard drive screws and everything. It just is a great tool. When I did computer repair for years, and instead of bringing in a toolkit, this was the only tool that I brought in with me. It had a flathead, had the needle nose, and it had the Phillips screwdriver, and that's really all I needed for just about any computer repair that I did. An absolutely amazing tool that I literally, if I lost this or this was broken, I would immediately buy a new one. I wouldn't go more than a day without this tool. Like I said, this is a Leatherman Wave. I'll put a link in the description to this on Amazon. They have a new version that has the replaceable cutters and even a better Phillips screwdriver, I think, on it, but everything else is pretty much the same. And there's a couple other ones out there, some actually higher end models that I'll let you guys check out. If I had to replace this one, I'd probably get the next one up. An absolute necessity out here. I just cannot stress enough how much that little tool has revolutionized what I do and how I do it out here. Having a barn and having the greenhouse and having the garage and the basement in the house and all these different places where I have tools, I never have the tool that I need with me. I'm so sick of trying to walk around and track things down. Having this tool with me at all times, I have a wrench, I have pliers, I have cutters, I have a knife, I have, a file. I just always have, just about everything I need, unless I'm really doing a big auto repair, tractor repair, something like that. Obviously I have to track down tools, but this thing saves me so much time out here. When I forget to put this on, I immediately go inside and get it, because opening feed bags, and I always need this thing. So no matter where you are or what you're doing, homesteading, farming, or in a little suburban place or in a bigger place, whatever it is, having one of these tools is just a necessity. So check them out. Great Father's Day gifts or birthday gifts for you guys out there, Christmas gifts, whatever. They're not too expensive, but you do want to get a good one, because you don't want the thing to break and rust and be a piece of junk. You want to spend the money and get a nice one. It'll last you a long time. Like I said, I've had this one for probably 14 years, and it's still been doing me pretty good. So hopefully you guys like this week's tool. What will next week be? Might have something to do with this bright light behind me. We'll see. Lots of good tools to come. Look forward to that every week for the next probably couple months. We're going to share a tool. So hopefully you guys like this. Let me know what you guys think. What's your most used? What's the tool that you have on your homestead or farm that you just can't live without? I'd love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to hit thumbs up on the video, and of course subscribe to the SSL Family Dad channel if you'd like to tag along with us. Lots of good stuff coming up this spring. We're digging into gardening soon, going to be planting some stuff, and all kinds of repairs and projects and building and all kinds of things coming up. So love to have you guys tag along for that. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one. We're going to talk to look for you guys what it has on it. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to kill that rooster. I'm going to kill him. He's going to be dinner tonight. So let's take a closer look at this Leatherman multi-tool, and I'm going to share with you guys what I like and what are some of the things that I wish. I'm going to kill it. Shut up!